Financing Futures 101, a primer on how states fund higher education. When it comes to our education system, few things are as powerful or as complicated as funding. For K-12 schools, the funding system is more standardized and guaranteed, with clearer formulas and requirements. But in higher education, it's a different story. Funding is mostly discretionary, and that means it can look very different from one state to another. Because funding is one of the biggest tools state leaders have to drive change and set priorities to shape higher education, it's important to understand how it works and how it connects with other revenue sources to support goals like access, student success, and value. Colleges and universities rely on multiple sources of funding to operate. The specific mix of these funding sources varies across institutions and states, creating different incentives that shape behavior and decision-making. State policymakers play a crucial role in determining the financial health and strategic direction of public higher education. However, every state employs a different set of financial and policy mechanisms that influence institutions' resources, priorities, and effectiveness. The various funding policies states have in place send signals to both students and institutions about what the state values from its post-secondary systems. Importantly, many states have developed formulas, yet these often function as allocation mechanisms rather than true funding models. These formulas vary, but they typically include a combination of the following. Base funding, also known as core funding, is the foundational level of support provided to each institution. Enrollment-based funding is typically calculated based on enrolled student credit hours. And student success, or outcomes-based funding, focuses on student progression, retention, and completion. How states fund higher education should be grounded in clear principles and priorities, and ideally inform not just how, but how much states should contribute to achieve those priorities. At a minimum, states should strive for a funding system that includes a minimum level of funding support for fixed costs, is responsive to changes in the system for both enrollments and outcomes, aligns with the state's current needs for a more educated and trained workforce, and accounts for differing student needs. The bottom line? Post-secondary funding policy isn't just a budget line consideration. It's a reflection of our values and a lever for opportunity. Financing futures means recognizing that where the money goes, or doesn't go, directly shapes who gets to go to college, who finishes, and what kind of future we build together. Funding decisions must be made deliberately and anchored in state priorities to deliver the outcomes that students deserve and to meet the evolving needs of our workforce. Check out our Financing Futures video series, led by Martha Snyder at HCM Strategists and Will Del Pilar at EdTrust, as we explore key milestones and policy shifts from the last 15 years to highlight how far we've come and where the future of post-secondary finance is headed next.